Welcome to Yuri Experience, and today I want to talk to you about my language skills. I'm back, I'm here, I enjoyed my little relaxation that I had over the time, like this week. I don't need more right now, but maybe I will repeat it at some point later, so just so you know. But coming back to the topic, as you probably know, I have 3 channels. So I have this channel in 3 forms, in 3 languages. I have it in English, in German and in Russian, which means I do know how to talk in these languages, at least to some degree, at least to some level. And today I decided to talk about it because, in my personal opinion, it is an interesting topic. It is interesting to compare different languages, and also these languages are not very different from each other. I mean, they are, but they are also not. It depends what you are thinking about. So I will just provide you some of my experience about different languages and what is difficult when you come from one language and you go to another language. Yeah, that's the topic. Let's go. But obviously, prior to us starting, I have to tell you that this is Yuri Experience. I'm Yuri, and here I share my various experiences about different topics, and today, for example, my language skills. I do 2 videos per week, Mondays and Thursdays. If you will enjoy this video, please drop a like now or at the end of the video, and you can also subscribe to the channel. Let's go. Let's start with basics. What languages do I know? What languages can I speak? What languages can I write in? And the answer to all of these questions is 4 languages: Ukrainian, Russian, English and German. The sequence in which I mention these languages is not at random. That's the sequence in which I learned the languages. Ukrainian and Russian are both my mother tongues. These are the languages that I was speaking since my childhood. You may ask yourself, why do I have 2 mother tongues? And it is connected to history of Ukraine. Ukraine was a part of USSR, and in USSR the official language of the country was Russian, which is why a lot of people in Ukraine, actually up until now, still talk Russian. Nowadays, Russian is not an official language anymore, it's only Ukrainian, but still a lot of people of my generation and older generations speak Russian and can write in Russian pretty good. Maybe not perfectly, but pretty good. I also went to Ukrainian school, and yes, there are different kinds of schools also in Ukraine. In Ukraine, during my times at least, there were Ukrainian schools and Russian schools. Basically, all the subjects were learned either in one language or in another language. I went to Ukrainian school, which is why I was good in Ukrainian, so I learned Ukrainian grammar and whatnot. But then I moved to Russia, where I learned Russian grammar. To be honest with you, I wasn't really good in writing in Russian, because I've never learned it. I only learned how to speak, how to talk in Russian. That's basically how a lot of children learn the language when they are like prior to 6 years old. And I wasn't very different. I just didn't have the need to learn Russian. I hope you understand what I mean. But then that need appeared in my life since I moved to another country, and that's where I learned how to write in Russian properly, how to build sentences properly, and the whole grammar story. And grammar in Russian is like, it's really bad. Now let's talk about other languages, about my foreign languages, about the languages that I learned. And here we have English and German. English I started learning in 2nd or 3rd grade back in Ukraine. I can't remember exactly. And I even studied it in university. It was my minor. I think you will get at what I mean. It was my minor, English translator in the field of natural sciences, something like that. I've never did an official certificate for this language, and in my assumption, based on the courses that I went to, so based on language levels that I prepared myself for, I would assume I'm somewhere between B2 and C1. For those of you who don't know levels of language skills, there are a couple of them, and they start with A1, that is like the lowest level where you don't just know the basics, and it ends with C2, and it goes like A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, and practically somewhere around C1, C2 is something that is considered similar to mother tongue, similar to a person who knows the language, like who lived in the country which speaks the language as a mother tongue. And my level is close to that, but I wouldn't consider myself similar in that degree, at least in grammar, in relation to grammar and in relation to vocabulary that I use. I started learning German only in my 9th grade when I moved to Russia. In my first school in Ukraine, I only had to learn one foreign language. But when I moved to Russia, I had to choose a second one because that was common in that school, and I had a choice between German and French. And since both my parents and me personally didn't want to put a lot of pressure on me, and I had to move to a different country and live in different language and had enough stuff to deal with, we decided to go with a language which was assumed to be similar to English, or more similar to English in comparison to the another one. So I went with German. Only years later I recognized the opportunity/possibility to study in Germany, which is why I started to learn German like more consciously, and I also had like personal teacher, personal training in terms of that. And in order to apply at German university, you need to have a level of C1 proficiency in terms of German language. And I have it. I officially have a certificate that proves that my language skills are on that level, or at least they were on that level. The fact that I learned English and German, like not from living in the country, but just from studying it, leads to the fact that to some degree I'm better than some native speakers in terms of grammar. And this is a really fun thing, because sometimes I ask people, why do you call it like that? Why do you use it like that? And they don't know. They just say it feels right. It is obviously a great thing that the person has a feeling for language, and it's something that is difficult to develop as a foreign speaker. But it's also sometimes infuriating, because person tells you something, tries to explain you something with the words like, I feel it like that, it is like that, people use it like that. It sounds wrong if you don't call it like that. And it is not something that is helpful for foreign speakers, because we don't have this feeling. If I tell you something wrong in English, maybe I don't hear it, but it will just really cut your ears. Why did he tell it like that? It doesn't make sense. But for me it does. On the other hand, there are situations where native speakers are not always sure about using correct usage of the word, but foreign speakers, or at least me personally, I don't have a really big problem with differentiation between these two words, because they are, in my head at least, in two completely different drawers. Great example for English would be there, they are, there, like these three words. And for me, three completely different words, completely different meaning. But as you probably know, there are a couple of people, so there are some people who confuse these words with each other. Another thing that I need to acknowledge is the fact that only because a person has some specific certificate for some level of knowing the language, for example, that I had C1 for German, which is pretty high, it doesn't mean that the person can actually use the language or can write in that language. And I'm the best of examples for that. Yes, I had C1 when I came to Germany, and which means that I'm pretty proficient in German. But it doesn't mean that I could talk freely. That doesn't mean that I could write freely like different scientific papers, and I had to do it during my studies. Because that is more that you can learn. When you learn basically basics, but that will not lead to you being able to use the language properly. In order to do that, you need experience. In order to do that, in my personal opinion, you need to live in the country. You need to have to talk in that language, you know what I mean? Like, you need to go to a grocery store and don't have a choice. Like, you need to tell it in that language, or you don't get food. I mean, in most of the cases, people still understand what I'm talking about and can help, and understood that when my language wasn't that good. But still, it is a different feeling, I would call it like that. Now let's cover a couple of interesting topics in terms of my language skills and my usage of language and usage of language overall. Great example here, accent. I know that I have an accent. I probably also talk in some like mix between British and American dialects, or like if you can call it independent languages, and a mix of English versions, because I learned British English, but I lived for 1 year in USA, which leads to the fact that like I mix them from time to time. Great example here would be the usage of the word supper, or actually not using that in American English. I'm still not sure what word do I use. Like supper is evening meal, and it is a word that is used in British English. But in American English, this word isn't used. I think dinner is the word for supper. But dinner in British English is like meal in the middle of the day. Like, it was really confusing for me at first when I just moved to USA. But coming back to accents, I have an accent in every freaking language I'm talking in. I have an accent in American English, in English, and as according to my knowledge, it is a mix of German and a Russian accent. I have an accent in German, which is a mix of Russian and English accent, and I have a little accent in Russian. Earlier it was a Ukrainian accent, and nowadays it is more like some mix of accents. And also I don't use words and I don't choose words as most of Russian people do anymore, because I mostly talk in German, and how German people, or how you need to build sentences in German language is different in comparison to Russian language, which is why like my whole building blocks are now different. Speaking of Ukrainian, I need to be honest, my Ukrainian is not as good anymore. Earlier, yes, my Ukrainian prior to moving to Russia was pretty good, but now I almost don't use it. I have group of friends and I have some of my relatives with whom I'm talking in Ukrainian, but overall my Ukrainian is pretty bad. Yeah, I talk often in a mix of Ukrainian and Russian, which is not really uncommon thing to do, just saying it. The other things that I have to talk about is articles, because I hate articles. I mean a or the, at least in English language. In Russian and Ukrainian languages, there are no articles. There are no. Like, the role of articles are playing endings of the words. Like, each word, even like different types of words, not like verbs and nouns, all of these words have different endings, which creates a context that allows you to understand what the meaning is. And basically, they play the role of the articles. And that is why I don't know how to use them. I do kinda know how to use them, but I still hate using them, and I forget about them all the freaking time. I'm not good with articles, and English is kinda okay, because articles in English are not really important. But in German they're extremely important, and they're also gender or sex specific. So each word has sex or gender specific article. It's not that in Russian it isn't like that. In Russian and in Ukrainian and in German, in all of these languages, nouns have like some specific gender behind them, or rather sex or whatnot, case. I would call it case actually. And it is not the case normally in like English. There are exceptions like queen and king, and normally queen is a female person and king is a male person, but in terms of words in German and Russian and Ukrainian, it is completely different concept. It's not always at least completely connected to the point what that person or what that object has to be. Like that object or that person has to be male in some way. No, it doesn't. So yes, articles, I hate them. I hate articles in German, as I told you already. I hate them even more because there are more articles, and there are also definite and indefinite articles, or definitive and not definitive. Like, the point is, I'm not good with them. I don't like using them. But I assume it would be pretty similar if you would start talking in Russian or in Ukrainian. You would misuse endings like a lot, because it's not a concept that you have in your language. Which is why I get it. It's still a difficult thing for me to do. That is a part of my experience in terms of languages. If you have any questions about that, drop them below. I will be glad to answer them. Any questions, like, language is not that critical of a topic. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please drop a like. You can also subscribe to the channel, and except for that, I see you on Thursday. Have a great week.